Hi all, welcome to this session on ZDK CLI. I am excited to guide you through this session in which we will discuss the basic aspects of ZDK CLI, like its definition, how to use it, who are the beneficiaries of it, how to install ZDK CLI, the supported features, essential command of ZDK CLI, and finally we have a quick demo on ZDK CLI basic commands. So what is ZDK CLI? ZDK CLI stands for Zoho Development Kit Command Line Interface. This means that you use commands to interact with Zoho CRM instead of the web UI. You can add or modify supported metadata using this ZDK CLI. Why should you use ZDK CLI when you can use the web UI to modify your Zoho CRM metadata? While the web UI is more user-friendly, the ZDK CLI provides more productivity. You can use it with version control systems like Git. Also, the commands of ZDK CLI can be automated through scripts. Through this, it is more efficient and faster. You can also use ZDK CLI for component sharing with fellow developers or across organizations. You can also add or modify widgets. You can run set commands in the CLI along with ZDK CLI. To use ZDK CLI, you need the relevant files, all the JSON files from the Zoho CRM org to your local directory. For this, you need to pull the metadata configurations to your local directory. Then you can add or modify metadata, and then you can push those changes or deploy those changes back to your Zoho CRM organization. The same thing goes for widget as well, where you can add or modify widgets. Who are the beneficiaries of ZDK CLI? Developers who are customizing Zoho CRM for their organization or Zoho partners who are managing multiple Zoho CRM accounts are the main beneficiaries of ZDK CLI. Now, how does developers benefit from ZDK CLI? Developers can store their changes in VCS and track the changes and modifications done, and one developer can work on top of another developer's work. This facilitates collaboration. Partners can use ZDK CLI for component sharing. Suppose you are a partner who have customized Zoho CRM for event management system for one customer. Now, another customer also needs event management system, but with minor changes. Using ZDK CLI, you can take the configuration file from the first customer, make minor changes, and easily deploy the changes to the second customer. This simplifies in the CRM movement for enhanced efficiency. The supported versions of ZDK CLI are Enterprise, CRM Plus, Ultimate, and Zoho One editions, including trial editions. It is available in sandbox environment in which you can make the changes and deploy it back to the production. Before installing ZDK CLI, make sure your system has these requirements. If you are a Windows user, make sure that you have Windows 8.1 or later. For Linux, Ubuntu 20.04 or later. If you are a Mac user, you need Mac OS 10.11 or later. You also need a couple of software such as NPM and Node, NPM 8.1 or later, and Node version 14.17.6 or later. To make sure that you have installed Node and NPM correctly, you can use these commands node-v and npm-v. Now, once all the steps are complete, you can go ahead and install ZDK CLI using the command npm install-g at Zoho CRM/ZDK CLI. In the current beta release, we are supporting these resources: profile, roles, modules, fields, layouts, and widgets. ZDK Project Directory. ZDK Project Directory is the root directory of the ZDK project from which you have to run all the ZDK commands. It gets created when the initial ZDK init command is executed. It contains all the folders and files that is required for the working of ZDK CLI. Let us take a look at the ZDK CLI project directory structure. It consists of two folders, .zdk and CRM, and a few files. The ZDK folder consists of log, org, and store folders. The CRM folder consists of meta and widget folder. The meta folder consists of the metadata of the different resources, such as modules. Inside modules, we have fields and layouts because fields and layouts are specific for different modules. Then we have profiles, roles, and metadata of widgets inside the meta folder. Directly under the CRM folder, we have the widgets folder, which will contain the widgets logic. These are the basic commands of ZDK CLI. First, you need to initialize the project using ZDK init command. Then you have to connect it to the organization using ZDK auth login command. And then you can take the configuration locally using ZDK org pull command. And then you can create new metadata or edit existing metadata. You can create metadata using ZDK meta create command. And to deploy it back to your organization, you need ZDK or push command. As the first step, as I discussed earlier, so I'm executing the ZDK init command first. So it is asking me whether I want to use this directory as workspace. I'm giving no. I would like to create a new directory, ZDK demo. So it has created ZDK demo for me. I'm going to that directory. I'll also add it to the file explorer here. So these are the main two folders, .zdk and CRM. So then I need to log in or connect the ZDK project to my CRM sandbox organization. For that, I am executing ZDK auth login command. So it is listing the organization. I'm selecting my sandbox Silker account and clicking on submit. Then it is asking for the required permissions needed by ZDK. So I am giving accept here. So I am logged in now. Now I need the files locally so that I can see what all changes are present in my organization and work upon it. I'll execute ZDK org pull command where it will be stored in a temporary directory. And when I execute the ZDK org pull update command, it will get updated to the specific directories. So you can see that we have inside modules, account specific, fields, layouts, and account modules metadata. We have all the fields here, even the non-modifiable ones, so that we can see the data that is present in our organization. Once full update is done, we can create new metadata or edit existing metadata. I will show the accounts module in my organization now. I have opened the layout and kept. Let me create a new field for the accounts module. I'd like to add a new field for checking, storing the status of the account. So I am using the command ZDK meta create fields. So it is asking me module API name. I'm giving accounts, field name, account status, API name, and the data type. So I have a new field created now, account status. So whatever we had given here is getting stored here, field label and API name and data type. I will we have a command for checking the local changes, that is ZDK org status command. It will show us the locally changed file. So it is showing me here that the fields new field account status is added. I want to deploy this change back to my organization. For that, I am executing ZDK org push command. ZDK org push command is an asynchronous command. When I execute it, the job gets created in the backend and it is running. To get the result of the job, I need to execute this command, ZDK org push result -- job ID. I've executed the command here. Let's wait a couple of seconds. So it is showing me a success response that the field is added. I'll check the layout again for the account status. So here we can see the newly added field is present in the layout here, account status. I would also like to modify the name of courses module here. So I want to rename the courses module. For that, I'll go to inside modules, courses modules metadata. We can change the singular label and the plural label inside the module metadata here. API name on a basis of which we have the folder names and the file names is not modifiable in ZDK CLI. So I'm changing the course name to subject. I'll change the plural label to subject. I've changed the metadata and I've saved the file. I will execute ZDK org status command now. So it is showing that the module's metadata of courses module is locally changed. To deploy the change back, I am executing ZDK org push command. Again, we have the job ID here and we need to execute the push result command. So it is showing that it is updated successfully. So let me go to the courses module here. So you can see that the courses module is renamed to subjects here. We also have the profiles and roles metadata. Here I have administrator and standard profile and different roles like I have it in the UI. So let us take a quick recap of the demo now. At first, I have created the ZDK Project Directory using the ZDK init command. Then I connected it to my Zoho CRM organization using ZDK auth login command. Then to pull the metadata from Zoho CRM, I used ZDK org pull and ZDK org pull update commands. To add new metadata, I can use ZDK meta create command. To make changes to the retrieved metadata, I need to open the specified file that I want to modify and then make changes to it. And to push the changes back to the Zoho CRM organization, I will execute ZDK or push command and ZDK or push result command. We have a ZDK CLI documented in this link. We will be sharing it in the chat.